Okay, so for us, adventure is not a state under public international. What? According to the Montevideo criteria, that is permanent population, definite territory, government, and capacity to enter relations with another state, it only meets some elements. It doesn't have a small permanent population of 5 to 10 people, and basically government. Adventure acts as prince with a simple constitution and rules. International law doesn't set a minimum population, and there is a micro-state with a very few people. So for this, the real problem is defining territory and what follows: sovereignty, independence, legal title, and recognition. In consequence, adventure sits on an old, aggressive military platform and artificial island. Under UN Convention of the Land of the Sea, artificial islands are not real territory and do not create their own sun. So the title states with aggression. Without all territory, adventurous independence, passports, and currency are symbolic, not state recognizing. And even under declarative and constitutive territories, it remains a self-proclamation, micro-station, and not a state.
In terms of international law, adventure is not a country under public international law. To be a state, international law uses 4 basic criteria. It's a permanent population, a definite territory, a government, and the capacity to enter relations with other states. So, adventure doesn't meet these requirements. First, its population is only 5 to 10 people, and they are not permanent. Second, the territory is only a man-made platform in the sea, and international law does not accept artificial structures. It is true that adventure created a government and a constitution, but a government without valid territory cannot be a state. Also, no other country recognizes adventure. Without recognition, it cannot act as a subject of international law. Because of all this, adventure is only a micronation, not a real state. Legally, it has no sovereign territory and no international status.
Okay, to respond to this question, first I want to question the first 2 basic ideas that Biku said in the case. First one, that the Baku are a people, and second one, that this being itself gives them right to become independent from a state, and they belong to and to be recognized under international law as a separate entity. But now for me, the problem starts with the Biku interpretates about this right. Why? Because the Biku interprets this right by understanding self-determination as an automatic right to independence, and it is not. That is too brave to bond a sovereignty with the state. For example, however, under international law, it is not enough to be a people. A new entity must also have territory, population, governance, also need international recognition of this new state. So independence as a form of self-determination is only accepted in cases, for example, such as colonization or series of oppression, for example. And I think in this case, it's not the situation of the Baku people. As a people. So therefore I could conclude that Biku starts from a valid principle but applies in the wrong way. Because the Baku may claim self-determination and recognized within a state if that entity is actually considered a state and not like, for example, the case in adventure case, like we said in all the video. So they do not have a direct right to independence in this case.
Can Baku gain independence based on the right to self-determination? To answer this, we first need to understand what the right to self-determination actually means. Under international law, especially the UN Charter and Common Article 1 of the 1966 Covenants, self-determination gives all people the right to freely determine their political status and pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. But its scope is limited. International law strongly favors the territorial integrity of existing states. Because of that, self-determination is usually fulfilled internally. Greater autonomy, cultural protection, or political participation within the state. External self-determination, meaning full independence, is an exception, generally accepted only for colonized peoples, populations under foreign occupation, or groups suffering severe oppression that blocks any meaningful internal self-government. So, can Baku claim independence? Bantu Biku can certainly invoke the principle of self-determination, but unless the Baku people are colonized, occupied, or denied all internal rights under Agrosia international law, will not automatically grant them a right to succeed.